Back with Laura Lopez, and Laura, I wanted to ask you a bit about the Haitian people themselves. Obviously, the conditions were not great to start with prior to the earthquake, and that just took difficult living conditions and made it much, much worse. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like you speak very highly and fondly of the Haitians. So what was your interaction with them like?
They're very, very lovely people, and they speak with such sincerity. Thank you so much for leaving your comfortable lives to come and help us.
So they recognize that.
Oh, yes. There was a couple of Haitian nurses that are in the U.S. that came down with us. Lovely, lovely gals. And I became quick friends with both of them. And their families lived kind of on the outskirts. And it's very hard to get through. The streets are almost impassable, and the traffic's like crazy, But they knew that she was coming, and they brought enough food for like 10 people because they were so grateful that we were coming to come and take care of their people. They didn't have the money to do it, but they felt that they wanted to do this anyway.
That's neat.
And every day somebody showed up with some food. And it was amazing food, too. For what little they had, the flavors were amazing.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's cool. So things like Clorox wipes. I mean, we think, wow, that's considered a luxury. There, that is.
Well, in the hospital that we had, even though it was an ER and an ICU, there was no running water.
So Clorox wipes were
they were
really
like
valuable.
A gift from heaven.
Yeah.
I went to town cleaning everything. I was up to 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, no, let's move this. And I had everybody pitching in and just trying to rearrange the emergency room, because how can you work when there's so much clutter and you don't know what's clean, what's dirty? There has to be some differentiation, so you know where your supplies are, so you can act in an efficient manner. And there was none of that. So I think a lot of what I did was cleaning the house.
Which is it sounds like extremely important, especially in a medical facility.
Oh, yeah. And, and it's like when you're cleaning, you say, well, don't they have this? Don't they have this? And I'm like, well, where's that warehouse? Where are we going to go and see what's there? I know I sent stuff because it's very difficult to get stuff from point A to point B.
You mentioned the roads are just a mess and traffic.
But even that, when things come in containers, they get stuck in customs and they can stay there indefinitely. And they have this warehouse there where they said, I said, well, let me go and see, because I was looking for some vent circuits I had sent, and I couldn't find them. So I went for what I thought was going to be like a half an hour, 45 minutes. I ended up getting dropped off there for the day.
Really?
And I worked in this warehouse for over 8 hours. It was like 108 degrees, and it was dirty. But it was a good experience, and I'm not complaining that I did it, because they have people who are volunteers there. There was one med student who was telling people, well, this is this and that is that. But then he was helping to organize these big bundles of stuff and seeing what they are and parting them out. And I'm like going through drugs. Oh, this is an anti-seizure. This is this, I was lucky that I have a pretty good handle on, pharmacology to do that, and then telling them where things should be and finding, we need these. There was like a baby and an isolate that had billy lights, and when babies are on billy lights, they need to have their eyes covered, and so the baby didn't have it.
Oh.
And so I said, okay, where are the eye covers for this baby? And we don't have any. I found a whole pack of them.
Really?
Yeah, and I said, okay, we got to make sure these get to the peds. Basins, cups, there are no bathrooms. They have, if they're strong enough to get up and walk to go out to the porta potty, that's what they would do. Otherwise, they would very discreetly squat over a pan.
Uh-huh.
I think that's why the women wear all the dresses, because they can discreetly squat and pee.
Yeah, and take care of business.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the families are there all the time. So you don't have a lot of space, and then you have family and not a lot of space, and then you have people coming in, the interpreters, and so everybody's like this. Everybody is, because
it's hot.
And it's hot and it's sticky, but nobody's really complaining.
Yeah. Because they're just so grateful that you're there.
Yeah, and we're just there. It's not about me. It wasn't about any of us there. It was about what we were here to do.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Well, and then like on CNN, we'd all seen Sean Penn talking about, what was happening there and the impact that, he was trying to make through his organization. Now, that organization, was that near you? And how did you guys have any commingling in that way?
Well, there was a partnership with the JPHRO. I think it's the Jensen Penn Haitian Relief Organization, which is a camp that's set up right next to the American consulate on a golf course. And that encampment has maybe 4 or 5 tents, and for a medical facility, a clinic, where they see up to today like 300 people a day, and below that, between this like 2 mountain ranges, there's 60,000 people living there, and that's where the Army Corps of Engineers came in and dug the trenches, and it's just tents upon tents, and they try to give them some kind of a community. But
what are these people doing all day long? I mean, are they just kind of existing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about right. Because there are jobs, there is no government. We went around and we saw the presidential palace, and I said, "So where's the president?" And he said, "No, I don't know. Nobody knows where he is." So there's nobody there leading
structure.
There's nobody
leadership.
leading the charge for change. One of the things that we were taught is don't go and tell people how things should be done or should be run. It's their country. You have to be respectful and just help them.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your experience. I know we had a very condensed amount of time to talk about a lot of what you saw and went through, but thanks for letting us in a little bit on that. So appreciate you coming in.
Oh, can I just say I want to thank Providence.
Absolutely.
So much for Jane Burke for giving me so many wonderful supplies. The pharmacy department, I took down medicine. They, and they helped get me there, and it was amazing. I love working for Providence because
that's wonderful.
We share the same mission.
Great. Yes, in the mission of taking care of people.
That's right.
Very good. Well, thank you, Laura. And speaking of thanks, I want to say thank you very much to Becca Wentz and Jason Monahan. These guys have been our interns over this first season, and today is our last show with them, and we're going to miss them. They've been a tremendous help, and so Becca and Jason, thank you so much for all you did for us, and we're going to miss you, and don't be strangers. Come back and see us. So, all right, on that, you guys, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on Localite. John Compton here saying thanks again for watching. And remember, if you've got a guest idea, let us know. Just visit localite.com.